You wake up as an Irish elk. Overnight, you've grown an enormous 12-foot antler weighing 90 pounds, attached to your head 24/7. You can't sleep properly. Every step causes constant, excruciating pain. You feel it would genuinely be better to just die. That's not even the worst one on this list.
The sunfish? Sunfish hold the unofficial title of the world's most useless animal. Everyone hates them for these reasons. They can't really swim. They're enormous, perfectly circular, have no actual tail, and look like someone just drew a giant head and forgot the rest of the body. So they don't swim. They drift. Literally just going with the flow, wherever the ocean decides to take them. Predators love to bully them. Sea lions bite chunks off their body and spit it right back out because sunfish taste worse than they look. But they keep doing it anyway, just for fun. And the sunfish doesn't run, doesn't fight back, just stays completely still because it genuinely doesn't understand what's happening.
It just has no idea where it's coming from because its brain is roughly the size of a walnut, despite its body weighing as much as a hippopotamus. Fishermen don't even want to catch them. Their rubbery texture makes them impossible to eat, so they're just thrown back. Even as food, the sunfish is unwanted. The only things that actually consume a sunfish are parasites. Over 40 species of parasites live on a single sunfish at once, slowly eating it from the inside and outside simultaneously. The sunfish floats to the surface and lets seabirds eat the parasites off its body.
Not because it's smart, but because it has absolutely no other option. God clearly has a personal grudge against this fish. And yet, the fascinating thing is, with all of this suffering, they've survived for millions of years. Why? Because one female sunfish can lay over 300 million eggs at once. Quantity over quality. At least let them rest. The cicada. Imagine spending 17 years underground, in complete darkness, completely alone. Not moving, not growing, just waiting. For a moment to get to the ground. That's the cicada's entire existence for the majority of its life.
Cicadas hatch as tiny nymphs, burrow underground, and spend anywhere from 13 to 17 years down there, feeding on tree root fluids. No sunlight, no interaction, just pure, patient existence in the dark, waiting for a signal from the Earth's temperature that it's finally time. Then, the moment arrives. They dig out, climb the nearest tree, shed their entire exoskeleton, and emerge as adults. The whole point of those 17 underground years was to get to this moment.
They have between 2 and 6 weeks to live above ground. That's it. 17 years of waiting for 6 weeks of actual life. During those weeks, their only goals are to mate, lay eggs, and die. Most don't even make it that far. They emerge in massive numbers specifically because predators eat so many of them that statistically some survive. They're basically a sacrifice strategy. 17 years underground, 6 weeks alive, then gone. If that's not a depressing life, I don't know what is.
The Irish elk from the opening? Let's actually talk about how bad it really was. The Irish elk was the largest deer that ever lived. Those antlers weren't just big, they were structurally insane. 12 feet wide, 90 pounds, growing fresh every single year. To grow antlers that size annually, the elk needed a calcium and phosphorus intake so extreme that researchers believe many individuals literally developed painful bone diseases just from the nutritional stress of growing them. Walking through forests was nearly impossible. The antlers would catch on branches, trees, and narrow spaces constantly. Sleeping was a mechanical problem. You can't comfortably rest with 90 pounds of bone attached to your head. And every year, after the mating season ended,
the antlers fell off and the whole nightmare started again from scratch.
And the worst part? The antlers weren't even for survival. They were purely for attracting females during mating season. Things guys do for love. The Irish elk evolved the most physically painful feature in deer history, just to impress someone. Completely relatable, honestly. They went extinct around 7,700 years ago. Scientists believe the antlers themselves contributed to it. Too heavy to run from predators effectively, too wide to navigate changing habitats as forests grew denser after the Ice Age. They were literally killed by their own evolutionary flex.
The mayfly. At least the cicada gets 6 weeks. The mayfly gets 1 day. Mayflies spend between 1 and 3 years as larvae underwater, surviving predators, currents, and pollution just to reach adulthood. Then they emerge as adults and live for roughly 24 hours. Some species live as little as 5 minutes as adults.
And here's the truly depressing detail. Adult mayflies have no functioning mouth or digestive system. They physically cannot eat. Their entire adult existence is powered by the fat reserves they built up as larvae over 3 years. They emerge, mate, lay eggs, and die, often before the sun sets on the same day they were born. 3 years of preparation, 1 day of existence, no meals included.
The worker bee is basically the unpaid intern of the animal kingdom, and it never, ever gets promoted. A worker bee lives for about 6 weeks in summer. In those 6 weeks, it will clean the hive, feed larvae, guard the entrance, build honeycomb, and fly up to 500 miles total collecting nectar, producing roughly 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its entire lifetime. 1/12 of a teaspoon. Your morning tea takes the lifetime work of 12 bees.
It can't reproduce. That's exclusively for the queen. It has no individual identity inside the colony, just a function to perform until it physically can't anymore. Worker bees in summer literally work themselves to death. Their wings wear out from flying, their bodies break down, and they die mid-flight or outside the hive, so they don't become a burden on the colony.
They die outside, alone, on purpose, so they don't inconvenience anyone. That's the most self-sacrificing and depressing ending on this entire list. A fish that drifts through life being eaten alive, an insect that waits 17 years for 6 weeks of freedom, a deer destroyed by its own evolutionary vanity, a creature that lives 1 single day with no ability to even eat, and a bee that works itself to death alone, so nobody has to clean up after it.
Next time your life feels hard, you at least have more than 1 day, and nobody is biting chunks off you just for fun. Like, share, and subscribe before a sea lion eats your phone, just for fun.